Hey, this is Rob here from Fulham Music. I just want to show everybody my Dirty Little Bass Synth. It's a mono wavetable synthesizer I made. Purpose was just to get some really big, nasty, dirty bass sounds really quickly without having to try and fool around too much with it. So let's go over that. So the basic layout, it goes signal flow left to right as usual. Oscillator section, modifier section, filter section, and master section. And we got some stuff on the title bar as well. I'll start with the oscillators. So there's two oscillators, the main one and the sub. Right now, just the main oscillator is on. It's just a basic sine wave, but you could morph it between sine wave. In the middle is a spike wave, which is basically like a high-passed square wave, and then a sawtooth wave. You can see also there's nice pitch bend. You can control the amount there if you want. The sub oscillator, it starts off, you have a separate gain, so you don't need to include it if you don't want to. It's there, and it also morphs, but this goes sine to square to sawtooth, so you get some variation. You can set this either to be the same octave as the main oscillator, an octave below, or 2 octaves below. And then here you can see it's, the amps envelope, basic ADSR controls, everything you'd expect from ADSR. Next, I want to go over the modifiers, so I'll pull down the sub and kind of smooth out the ADSR so you can hear what that's doing. We got a portamento section, which is the glide between notes, and we could have it off on always or legato. So always means obviously every note you play is gonna portamento. Legato is only legato notes. We got fold back distortion. I went crazy with the fold back distortion. I let you really, that'll really that's not even full. I didn't go up to the top, and it will go. And that's just because if you just want to mangle the sound, I want you to be able to do that. So next in the modifiers column is the ring mod, frequency shifter, and sample and hold distortion. And you can see each modifier is its own row, and then the column is what parameter on that you're changing. So the ring mod, it basically multiplies the oscillator against an internal modulator. So you could set its pitch and sweep the tone. So right now the pitch is going to be unison, right where it is. All right, and the tone, it's going to be the wave shape of the ring mod. The frequency shifter, it spectrally shifts the signal. It can get really bell, almost glass metal sounding, depending on what oscillator wave shape you're doing. And then last, we got the sample and hold distortion. It gives you that real nice bit crushing distortion. You'll notice this one is opposite all the other ones. The pitch, this one was in unison, this one was all the way down, this one was all the way down. This one's all the way up because all the way up is no bit crushing, and the further you pull it down, the more you're crushing. You're basically lowering the frequency of the sample, right? Let me give you some. Here we go. All right, next up we got the filter. So you might be able to see I've added some harmonic content beyond just the sine wave. Filters, as you'd expect, you got 3 different types. Got -12, -24, -48, and we got a notch. You can control the cutoff and the resonance on that, right? You could also use the ADSR to send to the filter. And we have an LFO down here, same thing. This will also morph. And you can sync it, and you can see up here that we got a BPM display. I'll come back into this later, but it will when you're in sync mode follow your BPM, which you can manually enter as well. And now on the right we have the master. So you've probably noticed the oscilloscope going, tracking and making the wave shapes. The wave shapes are basically, you can see these, but you have no idea what these are doing. So this gives you an idea of what your wave shape is looking on the way out. And that goes along with a VU meter. We got the output gain, you know, obvious stuff there. I also put in a ceiling limiter, so you can really you could protect it from clipping. You could also just squish it. You can see the gain reduction meter right here. And you can see the difference in the wave shape. All right. We also have a stereo widener, and this is, so right dead center is going to be mono. To the left makes it wider. Basically, you can go left or right. It makes it wider using the Haas effect. So if you know what that is, one side is being delayed slightly. So when you push it left, it's going to delay the right channel, and it's going to shift, and it's going to feel like it's pushing left. And then we have this mono below, which is a crossover frequency. Anything below this crossover frequency is going to be mono. So even if you have this wide, you can hear, and then basically all the way down to 20 hertz, practically, you're essentially turning it off. So the whole thing is wide, right? And you can hear. And that helps keep that super low end focused. All right, next up is the title bar. There's a bunch of useful things in here too. Obviously, it's the name of the synth, but if you right click it, you get a little drop down menu. It's got two things in here. Show tooltips, which would be, you turn it on, you get some tooltips telling you some basic things of what you're looking at, as tooltips do. Turn that off for now. And then you'll also see echo CCs to controller. We'll get into that in a little bit. We have the BPM section. So when you're in Standalone, it says INT, stands for internal, which means you can set the time. If you have this loaded up in your DAW as a plugin, that's going to say host, and it's going to be locked to whatever the host DAW's BPM is at. So when that BPM changes, the sync is always synced up. And that's, right now, that's basically what the BPM is controlling, is this sync. Next, we have MIDI learn. If you click it, you can do, the normal MIDI learn stuff. I'm going to turn it off for a second to show you. The pitch bend is automatically assigned to your pitch wheel out of the box without doing any MIDI learn. The LFO alt mount is auto assigned to your mod wheel. That could all be overwritten with MIDI learn, but normal stuff. You want to say control the morph, highlight it, move on your MIDI controller, and then click learn again, and now it's done. And now this goes back to echo CCs to controller. So if your controller has some sort of display, maybe it's like motorized faders or LEDs that show the value of the assigned MIDI parameter, it will be reflected on your MIDI controller. So if you have automations in your DAW running these parameters, and these parameters are also assigned to your MIDI controller, they will move with those automations. Also, clear maps automatically clears everything. So now I'm moving that formerly assigned MIDI controller knob, and it's not doing anything. All right, next we have the patch manager. Right now it is on the init patch, but since we've changed things, it's showing that it's a dirty patch, meaning you haven't saved it. So you can save it. You can't overwrite init, so you can, if you hit save or save as right now, it'll save as, and then now you can click at it and you can see we got a whole bunch of factory presets, which are in this teal color. Your saved patches will be in this other blue color. You can select them, you can go left, you can go right, you can init, you can hit random and use that as a crazy jumping off point. And then if you don't like a patch, you can delete it. But there's also, if you want to share patches with other people, you can drag and drop. So I have some random patches already made, and you can see if I drag and drop it in, boom, now it's in there. And you can do that with one, you can do that with a whole bunch of, you can do that with a whole bunch of patches, and now they're all in there. And then finally, we have the panic button, where if you're ever in a state where something happens and you need to stop, and it basically just sends a stop MIDI signal. So if you ever get trapped and it just keeps on making noise, maybe your MIDI controller got unplugged, maybe there was some sort of weird technical difficulty, you just, yep. And it'll shut it up for you.